let me rename here. Oh, man.
Wait, for real though? Like,
All right. Let's go ahead and get started with questions for Belo.
Hey, Andre, you're playing against a former high school teammate tomorrow. What kind of emotions are going into that, and how excited are you about it?
I'm very excited. I think it's going to be a great game. Like you just said, we played together in high school. Since I came here, I've been playing with him together. So now having the chance to go against him, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good opportunity. A lot of emotions. I'm happy to see him again. Haven't seen him ever since we graduated, and ever since I left to come here. So I think it's going to be great. Great to see him. Hopefully we can chat a little bit, at least, quick, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is. I definitely appreciate that. And, he's like a brother to me. I have a lot of love for him. I'm really proud of him. But, I'm pretty sure he knows that too. Like once we step on the court and the ref throws that ball up, he's an enemy to me. So a lot of love for him, but, we're going to go out there and compete. I think it will be bad if we don't compete because that's what the game asks. The game is always asking for, to the players to compete and play hard. So I think it's going to be a great game. I'm really excited for tomorrow and, can't wait for tip-off.
And then one quick follow-up. You called him like a brother to you. When you moved here to the U.S., was he one of the first people that you got to really know and be good friends with and develop a good relationship with as well?
Yeah, definitely. He was, if not the first one, he was definitely up there. The top, first 5 people that I met. I started playing AAU with him, with the New York Jayhawks. Then I went to a camp. I saw him there as well. So it was really nice. He's a good kid, good heart, great, with a great family. So yeah, he was one of the first students that I met, and I'm really glad we're still friends because I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. The game of basketball really, that's what I like about basketball, that you don't just compete, you don't just get 30 or get 20 assists. You create friendships that are going to last forever. So definitely a relationship that I really want for the rest of my life.
Thanks, Andre. I appreciate it.
Sir.
Andre, I talked to the Maryland coach who scouted that game last week, and he was talking about putting a lot of pressure on Kofi in the second half, trying to cut off your passing kickouts and stuff. Did you notice anything different about the way you were being guarded?
Yeah, definitely. I did. And it was the first game, so it kind of like got me, off guard. But now I know what other teams are going to do. And, I'm not going to say I'm the best shooter, but like I know I can do it. I just got to, get it consistent because, coming when I came from Puerto Rico, like that's all I did in Puerto Rico, literally get 20, 25, 30 a game and score however I wanted and do whatever I wanted. Everything changed kind of when I came here to New York, when I went to New York for high school. And I just, I wasn't really, like I didn't have to do that. Like our team was already stacked up. Like we have people that can score. And I was like, all right, if I really want to stand out, I got to, do different things. I got to pass, I got to rebound, got to play D and all that stuff. So for some reason, I just, my mind was just stuck on that side of just passing, get everyone involved. But, now people know that and we still have half of our season left. A lot of time to improve. And I knew that was coming at some point. So now it's just, just get some more reps so I can get it consistent. Because I know I can do it. It's just a matter of time that I just got to get the shot consistent and, not being afraid of taking any shots.
So it sounds like you didn't watch the film and think, oh my God, there's so much that I need to improve. This is just, yeah.
Yep, it's just I know, and I'm aware of the situation, and I was aware of it at Maryland as well during the game, and I knew it, like coming into the Big Ten, like I knew that they were going to do that at some point, and like at some point a team was going to start guarding that way, and now just gotta adjust, and like I said, just get it consistent, and we'll be ready to go.
Cool. Good luck tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Andre, Coach said that the team spent a little bit of time this week maybe reaffirming kind of what the identity you guys want is. Just what were maybe those conversations like? What was practice like this week?
They were tough, obviously. Having a tough loss. Coach was definitely mad about it. It should have been a game that we should have won. But we just, I guess it wasn't one of our days. We didn't go out there and compete, and we didn't, gave it all out. But we ain't perfect. Those games are going to happen. We just got to be good enough to limit them. And I think that happening now, I'd rather that happening now than, a little later in the season, because it's another good wake-up call. We know it's the Big Ten. Any team can beat any team. So now we just got to come out ready to play and compete. That's what he's been preaching all week, just to go out there and compete and give it all out, because that the game is always going to reward, those people that play hard. And, if you cheat the game, it's less likely the game is going to reward you. So he's been preaching just to compete, play hard, and, just crash the boards. Just everything we do, he's just been preaching. And he's been staying on top of it a little more this week for the, while we're preparing for the game on Saturday. So we just got to go out there and compete and play hard for 40 minutes.
So with that Maryland game, did that maybe just not feel like your guys' brand of basketball?
Yeah, I think, like I said, it was just one of those games. And I think, obviously, that there shouldn't be an excuse. And I'm not saying this is going to be an excuse, but I think, mentally we were just probably exhausted. Like, COVID, plays a big role in that. We can't really – we always playing basketball. If we're not at our apartment, we are in the gym. If we're not in the gym, we're in our apartment. We can't really do much. So I think that game, we was just mentally not ready for it. And, like I said, that shouldn't be an excuse. We should always be ready to go. And then that's what's going to, we talk as a team, and we all agreed to it, that we just got to come out no matter what, no matter the circumstances are. COVID is just a distraction, so we can let that be a distraction for, our next games coming up. And for the rest of the season, we should always be mentally ready to go. And I think, at the same time, I'm really glad COVID happened, because that, it's challenging us to be mentally stronger than usual. So we just gotta, after that loss, we had a quick reset, and now it's just a matter of time, tomorrow, go out there and compete for 40 minutes, and then on Tuesday do it again.
Thank you.
Hey, Dre, I got another one on Zed. You guys had a lot of success together, both at Lehigh, AAU. You both ended up in the Big Ten. Was there ever conversations about trying to go to the same place in college?
Yeah, we always, back in high school, we used to talk about it all the time, and joke about it as well. I think towards the end of our season, there was a time where Illinois came to our open gym, and afterwards, obviously, we talked and all that. And Coach and T and Coach Underwood, they both met with me and Zed. I'm pretty sure it was separately, but Coach had the conversation with the both of us, and we always talked about it. But obviously, at the end of the day, he got to do what's best for him, and I got to do what's best for me. I tried to pull him to come play with us, but it didn't happen. Just like he tried me to go to where he is now, but it didn't happen. And like I said, at the end of the day, we just got to do what's best for us.
When teams don't leave that big and the dump offs might not be there, what adjustments do you have to make? Are there certain spots on the floor you're trying to get to as far as floaters, pull-ups? What do you have to do to adjust to that?
I think we just got to read the game and see how they're doubling and how they're playing defense. And, that's what great players do. They find those spots to either cut, or if you're in the triple line, to find like a window for it. And I think we all have so much talent that I don't think we have to look for certain spots. I think we all have enough talent to shoot from anywhere on the court. Obviously, on a decent range where you're gonna make them, and obviously you got to know your personnel as well. You can't be throwing the ball to Kofi like 10 feet away from the block or something. So we just got to be, like I said, mentally more like mentally stronger. Because when we're not mentally strong, that's where we commit those little mistakes, or we gave it to the post and we were supposed to cut and we didn't. So we just got to come back and mentally prepared, because it's going to be a great challenge for us. So not really looking for any spots like that, just trying to play the game and let the game come to me.
Thanks, Trey.
Sir.
Hey, Andre, I'm curious about your student manager, Bobby, and what he means to you guys and what kind of energy he brings, especially in these really quiet, kind of strange arenas.
Bobby is a great guy, man. I love Bobby. He's a great dude. He does so much for us, so much for the team. I never realized how hard being a manager is. We have one of our managers here, like, getting involved in practice too, stuff like that. But Bobby's a great guy. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of love for him. Sometimes I can make it to get some breakfast, and he brings it for me, gets Starbucks, which is usually what we get. So he's a great dude. He's always looking out for us and always trying to make sure we're good to go. And I think his energy means a lot to the team, and it's really important we have that, because obviously you can't only come from him, you got to come from everybody. But I think it's a good piece, being right next to our bench and motivating us to, no matter what the circumstances are, whether we're up 20, down 15, down 10, to always have that juice he's been preaching about. Because, like you said, we don't have any fans, so it's pretty quiet. And, obviously when we're playing at home, that gets us going. And I think not having fans, but having Bobby bringing that juice, I think it's very important. And I think it's a great part of the game. Because when, he comes with energy, it gets contagious. Like, other people bring energy too. And having a bench with a lot of energy is definitely, I'll say, one of the greatest things that college basketball could have.
So when you're playing and you see, I think he's got like a dry erase board that he writes juice on. When you're playing and you look over, is that just a reminder, like, okay, gotta?
Yeah, we definitely use that. We see the word juice there, and we know what it means. So that means more juice. We preach the kill, which is getting 3 stops in a row. So reading that word right there just makes us play harder and keep going. And if you're on the bench, it makes you be louder and bring more energy. So it's definitely a great thing, like I said. And if I could have advised teams, like, I'll say, like, if I could advise managers, like, I think for on other teams, they should be looking at Bobby, because he does a really good job, and always taking care of everything, making sure everything's ready, so we're ready to go. And by him doing his job and then coming to the court for the game, bringing all that energy, I think it's great. So I'm really, really happy I know that guy, and I'm really happy he's our manager, and I'm really happy we're friends.
Thanks, Andre. Appreciate it.
Hey, Andre, we all kind of saw after the loss, you take a basketball by yourself and just kind of do a 10-minute solo session. What goes into that mentally for you? What were you trying to get accomplished, and were you just trying to mentally flush this one from your mind? Was that part of the deal, or what went into that session for you?
A little bit of everything for sure. I just kind of went out there, took shots from the spots that I kind of was struggling a little more. So like corner threes, some floaters that I missed. But mostly I was just, trying to be out there. The game of basketball has blessed me with many things. Like I've traveled all over the world. I've made so many connections, so many friendships, and having a tough loss like that, I just wanted to go out there and like you said, just flush it, just because at the end of the day, I got to get my mind right. So I just went out there, take some shots, kind of think about the game a little bit, see the court and just think. But once I stepped off, that game was off of my mind, and because the greatest thing about this is that we was gonna get to do it again on Wednesday, but got canceled, whatever. But now we get to do it again on Saturday. After Saturday's game, we get to do it again on Tuesday. So we just have, like I've been saying, quick reset, because mentally I think this year has been very, very, very hard, at least for me, and I think for everybody, just because of the circumstances. They ain't the best. And after plus the circumstances plus the loss can get you, mentally a little messed up. And I just wanted to go out there, shoot a couple shots. That way I can just flush that game and be ready, mentally prepared for the next one.
If I might be stretching here, but if it seemed like you had some body language, like, oh, okay, now you go in, like you were talking to the basketball, like, well, now you go in the hole. Like you couldn't have done that an hour ago. Like, were you able to mentally process whatever happened that night? And have you gotten better as a player, just being able to do that, flush that game and go on to the next one?
Yeah, I think, and as the season goes by, I think I'm going to continue to get better at that. Obviously, I think I'm a different guy. Like I think about the negative too much, to the point that sometimes, and I'll say most of the times, I dwell on the negative, trying to, mix it, fix it, and turn it into a positive thing. And I think that's a good quality to have, but it can also be a bad quality to have, just because of how I get sometimes. I really get really down on myself. I blame myself for, everything. I'm the point guard on the team. So I feel like most of the mistakes, I kind of like, all right, like that's on me. And I think I'm getting better at it. I came, I think this week was a great week of preparation. I think I personally and collectively, we're going to be ready to go. And more on the personally side, I think I've been getting better at just, not being just flushing and next page. Because like I said, we was going to get to do it on Wednesday, and I had to flush that game so I can start writing my next journey for that game. Now for Saturday, that game is done. What's in the past is in the past, can't really change it. So this whole week I was just focusing on having a great practice every day, and I think I did, and I'm ready to go. And I think mentally I am, and I think the entire team is ready to go. We're just seeing like a quick reset, and now mentally we're good, and we're gonna go out there and compete.
Thanks, Belo. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Andre, what have you kind of learned from Io this year?
Oh, I've learned a lot from that guy. He's a great player. Obviously, like if he's not, because I think as a team we're just so talented that having him on the team and me being a freshman, it's really good, just because I can look up to him. Earlier in the year I saw him, and he will always be working out before practice, after practice. And those things get contagious. As a freshman, I really, my high school years, I struggled with that. And, I knew I was going to be a freshman all over again in college. So, I look up to him. Great dude, like really, really great dude. Cares about how I play, how I'm feeling. Like today at the end of practice, we was running going over our last out of bounds plays. And I messed up like twice in a row, I think. Twice in a row. I think the first time I threw some bump pass, and then I did it again to Georgie. Like I threw the ball out of bounds, And he was like, Belo, I got you. And I'm like, no, I'm good. He was like, Belo, I got you. And he ran it. They got a bucket. That was the end of practice. And after we broke it down, we went to shoot free throws. And he put his arm around. He was like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. We're good. And he just started talking, hey, like, end of practice, always finish strong. Like, just make the simple play. That way we can end practice. But I know the kind of player you are. I know those passes are gonna be there. But at the end of practice, like, just make sure you're solid and finishing strong. I was like, I appreciate that. So he's definitely a guy that I've learned a lot from him. And I'm excited to see what the future and God has for him. In the next couple of games in his career. But he's a good guy to look up to, just because of how he comes out to play every night, always ready to go.
Was there a particular moment or game this year when you realized, like, oh wow, this guy is special?
Definitely, I knew how special he was since my visit. I saw it on him. He's that kind of player where you can see it. Like, you look at him and you go like, he's a good player. So definitely throughout the entire season, I've known how special he is, and he has a lot of room to improve, like a lot, just like everyone else. And I think that's what's scary about him. Like, he's not even at his top yet, and I think that's really good for him. Just he knows there's always room to improve. So I think that's the thing that makes him really special, just because of how much room he has to improve.
Thanks, Andre.
No problem.
Andre, you talked about having a mental reset this week. Did it help not playing on Wednesday and having that game postponed, or did it maybe throw off the routine a little bit?
Personally, yes, it helped for me. Just because, like, you and everyone else know, like, we've been going at it. It's literally game after game. So mentally, I needed that. Like I said, I'm different than my other teammates. And on my end, I'm that kind of guy where, didn't really have the greatest game against Northwestern. We still won, but then came to Maryland and we had a tough loss. And ever since Northwestern, I wasn't really having my best days in practice. Wasn't really like motivated and believe it or not, for me personally, I needed that mental break. I needed that game to be canceled. Like, I'm really happy it happened, because this week I did a really good job in practice, I think, and I needed to clear my mind, and I did it this week, and mentally I feel good now. And like I said, like, I've been talking a lot about COVID, and it shouldn't be an excuse, like I said, but I think everybody's different, and for me, being away from home and not having my family here, having to worry about school, then basketball, like, it's a lot. So it can get mentally, it's like I was drained mentally, if that makes sense. So with that game on Wednesday being canceled, definitely helped a lot. And like I've been saying, I think mentally now we're ready to go, and physically too. So just can't wait for tomorrow so we can go out there and compete for 40 minutes.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
I think I'm going to wrap this one up, Belo. You talked about Bobby getting Starbucks for you. I get my coffee about 10 miles from Lehigh. It's Caribbean coffee. I know how important it is in the culture. And I'm also aware that the NCAA has a rule against caffeine. I wonder if they still have that rule, and if coffee is an important part of your energy in your day.
I'm not really, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of coffee, but lately, I think I've been having it pretty often, and I think it helped a lot. Just obviously caffeine gets you going a little bit. So I'm not a morning person. I don't know if you guys are, I don't know how good, you guys are in the morning, but I'm awful in the morning. Like I wake up and I'm in a mood, like I don't want to be here. I just want to stay in my bed. Like I just want to sleep. But definitely, like, coffee is really, like, be helping me a little bit, get myself going, get out of bed, and just look forward for that coffee and that energy afterwards. So Not really a big fan of coffee. Like, I could live without coffee, but if I could have it every day, I wouldn't mind.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, that'll wrap us up with Belo. Belo, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.